I have a very, very deep pleasure and great honor of welcoming Dr. Meera from Chennai in India. Dr. Meera's talk today is titled Mother of Yore: How a Mother's Consciousness During Pregnancy Molds the Creation of the Progeny. Dr. Meera traverses through the probable states of minds of mothers of times of yore. The central characters in Ramayana and Mahabharata are great Indian epics. She throws light on if it has a bearing in the minds of progeny, a sure takeaway for the 21st century partners to prepare for a healthy parenthood. Dr. Meera is also now the director of Ayush research, the department that is set up by the Health Ministry of India. And we are very grateful that Dr. Meera has made an effort to join us today. She's had a very challenging day. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you so
Vanakkam.
much, Yukta. Yeah,
Vanakkam.
vanakkam. Am I audible to all?
Yes, very clear, ma.
Yeah. Now you all know why Yukta Mukhi became the Miss World. She speaks so well, right? She credits everybody. So thank you, Yukta, for the very nice introduction. And now it's a challenge to keep up the thoughts and words which I want to share. So I'll be sharing knowledge which I've gained from Ayurveda. I'm a practicing Ayurveda doctor. So Ayurveda, don't mind if I'm going to cough a little in between. It so happened that I picked up a sudden allergy and a fever yesterday, and I'm extremely sorry. So at times when you try to tell the truth, the cosmos doesn't allow you, right? Probably it's some important message. But it's a very beautiful message which is all around you in the internet, and these are very simple stories which our grandmothers have been passing on to us since ages together. I listened to my grandmother, my mother, across the country, across different groups and clans and different states. You know that India is the most populous country now in the world, 147 million, and we are all different. You'll not find a single person who speaks, singularly in the same mood. But still, the things which bind us together are these stories called as Itihasa and Purana. Okay, you have the stories called Ramayana and Mahabharata. You would all be aware. You come from different countries like China, Japan, and the West European countries, and US, South America. We all were once one body, right? You call it Pangea, right? Although I'm a proud Indian, and I know that the stories have been documented in different regional languages, which could be the unique point in India. I know that every single soul in the world, whoever belongs to any continent, these stories have been shared to you all in different forms and different means. This I understood after the advent of social media and YouTube. Generally, I don't know if you follow the politics in India or other countries. There's a general notion that East is the source of traditional knowledge, and South America or Africa, and China, Japan, and India, and West is everything modern, and it looks at science in a different angle. It looks more of the materialistic. But still, there's a line which has had connected us when we were all one world, which is Pangea, and probably 1,000,000 years ago, and we all drifted apart with all the knowledge in our hand. So in that way, I would like to share as to how Ayurveda, the ancient science of medical science of India, which is called Ayurveda or Siddha or Unani, the Arabic medical science, which is popularized and which is maintained, the practice is still maintained in India. So we believe that the baby which is formed is not, we all know that according to Western science, when the sperm and the ovum, they join together, you have a zygote, it multiplies and then becomes a child. It starts as from a mustard size, and then it becomes a 2.5, 3 kilo baby, right? So this has been totally recorded in even the Ayurvedic science 5,000 or 10,000 years ago. We don't know when these records were even created. So there are 6 important factors or 6 pillars which are required for the growth of this child. Okay, they are called as, it is a Sanskrit term, don't get put off by this, by listening to a new language. It's called as Garbha Shatkara Bhavas. Okay, Garbha Samudayaka Bhavas. What are they? Garbha means womb or the child. What are the 6 pillars or the 6 natures which are important for the formation of a child? So the 6 are the Matrija Bhavam, that is the maternal factors, Pitrija Bhava, that is the paternal factors, Atmaja Bhava is the soul, Satmyaja Bhava is the factors which the baby imbibes by practice of wholesomeness, by when it gets accustomed to some food, thoughts or action, then the baby or the mother, okay, that is called as Satmyaja Bhavam. Next is the Rasaja Bhavam, that which the baby picks up by food, whatever food it eats, okay, the nature which it gets, and Sattvaja Bhava, or the mind of the mother and the child. So in all these 6 factors, Pitraja Bhavam is 1 out of 6, Matraja Bhavam is 1 out of 6. The Atmaja is an external factor. Satmya, Rasa and Sattvaja, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 6, it's the responsibility of the woman. Okay? The woman carries, the man's action stops with just 1 sperm. 1 sperm gets donated and the job is done, right? He just gives off. So the chance of even this child being maintained, it is decided even at the sperm and the ovum level. So we have that the normal healthy sperm count ranges from 20 to 150 million, or for one ejaculate it is 39 million. So it is 1 out of 100, 150 million chances that you get this child, that you have to have in mind. Similarly, mother is there, right? Imagine that the mother starts to ovulate at the age of 12 years. Okay. And her ovulation, she continues till the age of 60. Say, let us say 50. I put it as 50, 12 to 50 years, which means 38 years. 12 to 60 would be fine. So 48 into 12, say 600 times, more than 500 times. More than 500 chances of ovum. So what is the probability of that baby being formed is 1 out of 500. And what is the baby of that one child being formed is 1 out of 150 million. This is the proportion. So this is why we consider, the whole world considers women as precious than men, right? Polygamy was practiced during the times of yore due to various reasons. So, so what I'm trying to tell is, the mother in the Indian mythology, you will find as to how they keep this father as the standard, okay, and the mother as the variable. It's an assumption that the father is the best. It's an assumption. If the father is the best, what will happen? When he takes different women, that is one approach which certain stories tell. Okay, and in some assumptions, the father may be portrayed as a bad character. Okay, and the mother may be good. And some stories will tell how different women have different consciousness and how different children are formed out of different mothers. Okay, it's very complicated. We have to understand that now in US, anti-abortion law is coming, right? So will we call them as villains? And there was polygamy practiced in different cultures. Even now in Africa and Arabia, it is still there. So will you call them as villains? See, these are stories which were documented 5,000 years ago, and we didn't know how the culture. So it was sustenance of humans and evolution. We learned so many things from nature, right? We learned things from the animals. So at last, it is now being into a monogamous relationship. And when it doesn't work, we go into divorce. Okay, this is the concept which I want to tell. So why am I trying to tell this? Because the possibility of a healthy marriage in 21st century is taking a different turn, because children and the women are exposed to YouTube, and the humans have started questioning the theory of conception and theory of marriage. Okay. So, so in very conservative societies, maybe the West and the East, there are lots of conservative people who believe that there can be only a one husband and wife relationship. and anything else is a sin. So why am I trying to tell this is, the man has got 1 out of 6 possibility to give his nature to the child, and whatever nature the mother picks up from the man will be passed on to the child. Okay, it is one thing which you have to have in mind, because even if when the couple gets separated after say 5 or 10 years, you should remember that the child carries the aspects of this parent from whom you have been separated, from this man you've been separated, or with whom you are traveling. Why should you know that? You just put it in one corner, box it up. You don't want to even handle this emotion, right? You have to handle this emotion, because a mother, a woman, is considered as Bhumi in India. Bhumi is Prithvi, Earth, Mother Earth. We all call as Mother Earth, right? Even in West or in the East. She has perseverance to the core. To the core, 9 months of pregnancy. Whoever has gone through it knows how difficult it is to hold on to a weight from nothing to the 3 kilo weight in your tummy. And you put on 25-30 kilos, from 10 to 30 kilos of weight. So much of patience she has got, and she must remember this. This patience should always be with her when she observes the nature of even the separated father in the child, and try to manipulate or divert and take only the positive natures which the child has got from the parent. If she is going to work on the positivity with the child has brought, she is fine. You understand? Because that's why I had discussed with my husband. He was astonished to see Dr. Meera, putting the word partners and not husband and wife. Okay. Yes, human race is evolving, and we see this even in India, not just now, even in Mahabharata, the concept of living together was there. And Indian government, to me, it's astonishing. In UP, Uttar Pradesh has passed on rules that if you're going to live in together, go and get registered with the police station, so that any untoward action does not happen. So the Indians have started accepting living together, which is for me as a conservative person, is, I don't know what, it is very strange for me. So to suit this, I had to, we'll have a 5 minutes. Yeah, I had to put the word partner in this relationship, in this business of marriage. We all want a good, long, healthy business, a life, a love. What if it doesn't work? That mother takes on the responsibility of nurturing the child. And so what are the other 4 factors? Atmaja is a soul. Okay, soul is a very complicated topic. I'm not going into that. Wholesomeness. Whatever practices you keep subjecting to yourself and the child during pregnancy and after birth will manifest in the child. We have this beautiful, plenty of researchers. I'm very sure you would have all gone through, and you would have all experienced as mothers. As mother, if you had discussed something with your friend in lots of excitement, when the child gets born, it will start reflecting those thoughts in words and actions. You will be amazed. Where did the child pick it up? It could be a thought which you were analyzing it during your pregnancy. The rules for pregnant women are very, very strict in India. They will not ask you to listen to any negativity, and they will try to keep the woman very, very happy, getting all the necessities so that the child gets satisfied inside. Whatever you're subjecting the child to during your pregnancy is what with which the child is born. I personally, as a doctor, experimented this with my 2 pregnancies, with my first kid and the second kid. During the first pregnancy, sadly, there was some sick illness in my mother's side, and I was very, very upset and withdrawn, not very happy at all during the whole course. And I understood after the child was born how she got affected, and how she was disconnected. And even now, at the age of 12, I see how she, although she would have been a better child, she is one. There are certain emotions which she is unable to manage. And I very well know that these were the stress which I had carried. But then, now, when I understand and when I address it through yoga and meditation, the child is getting better. In the second child, I knew that I had done an error with the first child. So in the second child, I was totally doing my meditation and yoga, and there was only positive thoughts which I imbibed. Although there was lots of negativity and stress which were around, it's life, right? You have lots of issues, right? I very keenly took all the positivities, and I see that the child is so very different. And so that is one thing. So this could have been easily understandable by us if we had born 6 or 7 children or 10 children, right? That's not the case now. We stop with 1 or 2. And even when you observe your mothers or your cousins who had 6 children, you will understand that each child has got one positivity of the mother, one positivity of the father, and one negativity of the mother, and one negative feature of the father. It's so very beautiful. And sit and discuss to what they were accustomed to. What were the situation in which the child was born? What is the situation in which the second child was born? You will understand that how situations also have given rise to different mentality of the child. So that is one point which I would like to share. It's called Satmyaja, or wholesome practices, which if you're going to inculcate wholesome thoughts, you're going to get a wholesome child. But is it possible? Okay, it's not that you should be afraid of conceiving at all. That in India, if you can Google up a story of Sita, Mother Sita. Okay. Again, I would like to warn you that every Indian or every Greek or Latin mythology, if you're going to analyze it, first analyze the situation in which it was written and not get angry on all the situations which led to that situation, because you are not getting the lesson from it. Okay, these histories were written for us to take the best lesson and live in life. There would be, you would have heard of one called Lord Ram and one is called Ravan. Ravan came and he will come and hijack Ram's wife, that is Sita. Okay. But you will find in practicality that a person is also called Ravan in India. He will be the best person. He will have a very good nature, because the child would be taught by the parents not to behave like Ravan. You have lots of name in the West, right? Greenwood, right? You have a Trump now. You have a Musk now. Musk feels so musky, right? He feels he's all around the world, and he has put in lots of challenging questions to what is conception at all. It is a new theory which he puts forward. So you find that they are populating the world with lots of Musks and lots of Trumps, right? So we are going through I would tell, a very historical phase in history where you're going to find the next century. There are going to be lots of Trumps and lots of Musks around with their thought processes. How are we going to address this as a society is to understand what positivity the child has got, whether maybe my child also or his child also. And just try to see that we focus this positivity for the positivity of the society. Then the society thrives. Okay. So why am I telling this? Satmyaja. And then you have Lord Ram. So there will be Rams who is there in a jail. Okay. Lord Ram was known to be the best ruler in the country. Of course, there are lots of debates that he left his wife in the forest as a punishment. Okay, you get very angry. Feminists get very angry and they keep blaming Lord Ram. We just built a temple last year when it was destroyed 500 years back because of the Mughal invasion. Anyway, so there are lots of debates going on. So you will find a Ram who is there in jail. So the child has not picked up the positivities of the Ram, while Ravan could be a nice person because he picked up the nice parts. The Shastras, the Itihasas and Puranas tell Ravana is the best person who knows all the 4 Vedas, all the sciences he knew. He was the best musician. In Ayurveda, we learn the book which he had written, which is called Nadi Shastram. Okay. He was the best scientist during this time. If you had listened to, there were even aeroplanes which he devised, is what they tell. There's again lots of arguments. It's called Pushpak Vimanam. So probably the child pick. There's one Dushyant Sridhar. I don't know if you're all from the West. You can Google up for Dushyant Sridhar in the net. He speaks fantastic Indian history. He's the best, he gives stories and sermons and positivity to the society. What did Dushyant do in history? In history, if you're going to see, Dushyant was one who forgot to marry the girl whom he had promised. And he will keep the girl in seclusion. So when Dushyant gives a sermon, he always tells, I don't understand why my parents have kept it as Dushyant. He's one of the best sermon, givers. I'm Meera. They tell it's an Arabic name. I don't know. And it's light giver. What if I pick up the Meera's nature, and she was one who challenged the norms of staying with her husband, and she would devote herself to total bhakti of Krishna and leave up her family relationship. So if I'm going to pick up that nature from Meera, my life is going to be that. So Shastras are very, very clear in India. First, you have to understand that when a situation is given from whatever continent, we have to understand the situation and take the best and not unnecessarily go into arguments playing for the right or the left, or the right or the left, or the right or the negativity of that thing. So that, what is the purpose of life? The purpose of life is just to be healthy, right? We would have seen thousands of patients, rich and poor, men and women, old and young. Happiness and cheerfulness for the sake of health is life. This, the woman who is pregnant should always have in mind that the child has one aspect of that father with whom you gone away. You cannot change it. Bring up all the positivities of the child. Okay, next. Last point is rasaja, or the nutritional factors. This is what Western science speaks of. That is calcium, vitamin supplements, fruits and vegetables, and milk and ghee and meat. These all play a role in bringing up your child. Okay. So I wanted to discuss the state of mind of two women from Puranas. So why did I tell the story of Sita is, Sita, after she was abducted by Ravan, then she will come back to her kingdom, and then she would be deserted by Lord Ram for satisfying the dharmic principles during that time. It is a very painful situation. Okay. Very, very painful situation, and every woman will cry when we read that part. And there are lots of women who even are not happy with Lord Ram. I'm not going to go into the aspect of, let us not judge Ram here, but let us look at the kids whom Lord Sita gave birth to. She will go into an ashram, and in the ashram, she will give rise to two kids, Love and Kush. Okay, they are the twins. And these twins were extremely brilliant. Okay. And they used to sing, they used to dance, and they had all the knowledge of all the sciences, archeries, and they will grow up into extremely great rulers. There will be lots of understandings which happen between Sita and Ram, and at last Love and Kush will be given kingdoms in India, and they'll become very good rulers and live for 120 years. 120 years is the span which texts tell that it's a complete life of a human being, okay, generally. So my thing is, if Sita, okay, the concept, what we've told, the Shat Matrikara Bhavas, Shat Garbha Bhavas are Matrija, Pitrija, Atmaja, Satmaja, Rasaja, and Satvaja. That is maternal, paternal factors, soul, wholesomeness, and nutritional factors, and the mind, the role of the mind of the mother and the father and the child. If only she had felt upset, she had gone into depression, if she had felt sorry that she was separated from her husband, she had gone into negativity. As I told, I had this personally. When I was stressed, I understand how the child is stressed now. It could have affected the children, Love and Kush. These are assumptions. You understand? We don't have a real life situation. We can argue against this. She could not have given rise to extremely intelligent kids. Let us only observe the positive lesson from here. So it means Sita, her name itself means she is Bhumi. Another name of her is Bhumi. She is Mother Earth, is what the text tells. So she is so patient, and she did not allow her consciousness get affected by the separation, or in other words, the punishment which she had to face by being in a forest, by being deserted by her husband. Understand? This should be the willpower of mothers, whatever be the situation. See, in India, we live in the 21st century, right? You have long-term, we were all in India or even other countries. There were lots of traders. The traders used to travel for long, leaving the women at home, right? If only the woman is going to get affected that the man leaves her and goes, separation is a painful, then it is going to affect the child. So these stories are told so that the mother has a strong mindset and always thinks positively so that the child comes out and has a good mind. Now, there is one problem. There is one saying in Tamil. Okay. எந்த குழந்தையும் நல்ல குழந்தைதான் பிறக்கையிலே அது நல்லவராவதும் தீவையாவதும் தீயவராவதும் அன்னை வளர்க்கையிலே. That is very complicated, right? Very simple. Any child which is born is a very good child. This is a concept, okay, with an assumption that the man is the best. And the child becomes bad or good only because of the way the mother tends the child. Okay. So this becomes a problem that if you have a child which doesn't cooperate with the society all of us puts the blame on the woman. Okay. Don't forget that there are 6 bhavas, right? The 6 bhavas, the first bhava is the Pitraja bhavam. Don't give up. There are so many aspects which can affect the child. It is not just your ovum. That sperm, that one in that 150 million sperm with that XY and that gene and that chromosome and that nucleic acid, there are so many natures which are embedded, and we don't know which nature the child has brought up, the child has picked up. Or is it because of the food? Or is it because of the soul? Or is it because of the accustomations? Or is it because of the nutritional facts? You know that. Then there are places where the nutrition is very poor, as in Africa, kwashiorkor and marasmus is there, right? It affects the child. So we cannot always blame the mother. Why? The percentage, you have to remember that there's still that 1/6, and I don't accept this argument that women are only responsible for bringing up bad children. If you're successful, you can bring up a good child like Lava and Kusha if you're going to have that strong mind. That is the story of Sita. 2 more stories. Do we have time?
No, Doc, I'm almost out of time.
Okay, fine. I will just mention the stories of...
I do want to thank you because you brought Sita Ma's story so beautifully, that how a mother's resilience is going to set the genetic marker for the child and their entire life. And it is so beautifully enumerated by you.
Okay, fine. So I've discussed one story. There are 2 more stories which you can Google up. That is Prahlad, and another story is Abhimanyu. Please go through the stories and try to understand what situation the children, the wombs were exposed to, and what were the effects of the same situation in 2 different pregnancies. In Prahlad also, the mother will go into sleep and the child will listen to a good thought and will grow up as a good child. Where in Abhimanyu's story, the mother will go into sleep, and when she listens to when she goes into sleep, the child will not be able to will get cut off from the consciousness and hence will face a failure. Okay, there are 2 different situations. Kindly go and analyze and get the best lesson from the stories. And thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to meet you all from different countries. And I'm very grateful to this group. Thank you so much.